been a bit quiet on the Gears of War 3 servers of late, as everyone headed over to Modern Warfare 3 for a while to stand at either end of that pipe on hard hat and throw flashbangs at each other.
But with the release of the Ram Shadow DLC, a lot of people are going to be heading back to the Gears fray. So on this episode of Insider Moves, we'd like to extend an invitation to the community. Once you've conquered Ram Shadow, come and join the multiplayer fold online. There's nothing quite like the tension and violence of a well-played round of Gears of War 3 multiplayer. If you've never tried the multiplayer, or you've just been intimidated by the skill level of veteran Gears Online, allow us to say this: you're going to die a lot.
Just read the line in the script.
Alright, you'll be just fine.
Yes. Oh, okay, you will die a lot at first, but everyone has to start somewhere. Don't let the learning curve turn you off.
Our approach then for this week's episode will be to highlight a few techniques that most competitive Gears players employ to keep themselves on the winning team. Put these tips to work along with practice, and soon you'll be the one causing opponents to chuck their controllers across the room in angry frustration.
Our first suggestion, use your teammates. Even if you're not on the mic communicating with your team, it doesn't matter. You'll create an incredible advantage by sticking close to your comrades. Nothing in Gears is deadlier than combined fire. 2 average players can annihilate 1 great player in a hurry. Don't underestimate the power of combined fire.
Next up, learn to cut your losses when you're at a disadvantage. If you get shot in the back, it's very unlikely that you'll be able to swing around and win the encounter outright. Instead, duck around a corner, take cover, dodge and weave. Don't just flee the scene, but do whatever you can to get your health back. Then you can engage the enemy on equal terms. Ever wonder how someone can consistently have a 2-to-1 kill-death ratio game after game? It's because they don't fight when they know they're going to lose.
Next, Gears of War 3 is a power weapon game. Boom shots, diggers, torque bows, long shots and the rest are of vital importance. If an average team owns the power weapons, they can dominate even excellent teams. Now, most teams will push towards the power weapons right when a match starts, but the real key is to revisit those spots throughout the match. Not only will you pick up power weapons more often, but you'll encounter more enemies to defeat in and around those particular locations. Now in this case I have the digger, so here's a quick tip for this particular weapon. Try lobbing it high in the air towards your enemy. People avoid the digger when they hear it, but it doesn't make a noise when it's in the air.
And now let's take a moment to discuss the all-important active reload. When you start to reload in Gears, you can complete a perfect active reload by pressing the right shoulder button in that little sliver of white in the reload meter.
Thanks 2006, useful tip.
Alright, it's a series staple, but you'd be surprised by how many people don't do it. And you really should be taking advantage of the active reload. Doing so will give you a temporary but powerful upgrade to your weapons, such as greater damage for the Lancer or Nasher, or a bigger blast radius for the Boom Shot. You can give yourself a great instant advantage in combat by finding opportunities to hit a perfect reload during an engagement. This is probably most obvious when using the Nasher shotgun, where a single active reload shot can split an enemy at further than point blank range.
And then there's the weapon swap, a technique too many novice players completely ignore. Make sure you're always using the best tool for the job. For example, if you start off peppering an enemy with your Lancer, but they're closing in on you too fast, back up, switch to your shotgun and show them why charging you was a bad decision. Likewise, if you start off with a shotgun and your opponent decides to explore exciting new career opportunities in the field of running away, pull out your rifle and finish them off. Don't commit to using just one weapon in an engagement. You'll be hamstringing yourself for no good reason.
Now those are just a few tips to get you started in the chainsaw throat world of Gears 3's multiplayer. We are by no means expert players, but we find these tips help us to be on the winning team more often than the losing team.
And as ever, we eagerly anticipate your feedback on what utter noobs we are and how we suck and can't play the game and have ruined it for everyone. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.